World of Warcraft is filled with dozens of unique, memorable environments that players visit on their way to max level. Thousand Needles is one such zone, a massive canyon filled with towering mesas and spires of rock that tower above the windswept floor. It is one of the most recognizable landscapes in all of classic WoW, but for a while now, there's been a question in the back of my mind. Are there really 1,000 of these needles across the entire zone? My gut told me no. Probably not, but I wanted to find the exact number, and today I'm here to present my results to all of you. As always, thank you for your fun comments and support of the channel, and with all that being said, let's get right into it. Let's start with the larger mesa-like formations that are the most prominent landmarks in the canyon. As a disclaimer, I did use my WoW map viewer on Nogget Red to help with this process, and it is honestly a great tool to have around for researching topics like this. I ended up finding exactly 50 of this large type of needle, quite a few less than 1,000, but we're not done yet. There are also many of the smaller stone towers and pillars interspersed between the larger ones. The easiest ones to keep track of were the 6 I found up at the High Perch, the nesting ground for the majestic Wind Riders. The others, let's just say it took a lot of careful tallying and keeping track of where I was looking. Also, for the sake of definition, the needles I counted had to at least be made up of 2 or more rocky components and have some sort of height element above the ground. There were some in-game features that looked very similar to small needles but were actually just single rocks, so I left those out. After counting all of these up, this was the number I came up with. 152 of the small ones, for a combined total of 208. 208 needles in the land of 1,000 needles. I think we can officially call this an exaggeration, and maybe we need to put in a request to round this zone down to 100 needles, or something like that. There are a few more details worth pointing out here. In the adjacent land of Faraless, there are 8 more needles, 6 near the zone boundary, and 2 making up the twin colossals farther north. Just out of curiosity, I also decided to check and see how well the in-game map aligned with the needles themselves, and I was really surprised to see they lined up perfectly. There are 50 icons on the map corresponding to the 50 big mesas in the environment. You can count them yourself. The map of Faraless is also consistent, which supports the idea that the art team probably drew over a one-to-one snapshot of the terrain when creating the maps for the game. For those interested, it's also possible to scale 11 of the 50 pillars at some point on your questing journey, though some of these, like the Leap of Faith area, are only accessible to Horde players. All in all, a neat little geologic survey, and even though there aren't actually 1,000 needles, this is still one of the most nostalgic and recognizable zones in all of classic WoW. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, may the Force be with you.